I ended up losing consciousness.
In a KREM 2 exclusive tonight, a former Boundary County Jail inmate describes the moment he says he was assaulted by a corrections deputy in his cell. Now the sheriff is recommending charges.
We're waking up to another chilly morning, but we have 2 more warm afternoons before rain arrives this weekend.
We're stretched pretty thin without any kind of, temporary crisis.
Local food banks bracing for a surge in demand. SNAP benefits could soon run out as the government shutdown stretches on. They're warning tonight.
I'm scared for other people that it might happen to.
That is a North Idaho man who says he was assaulted by a Boundary County jail deputy while he was behind bars. And tonight, that former sergeant could soon be facing felony charges. Good evening and thank you for joining us for the KREM 2 Night Report. I'm Mark Hanrahan. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy spoke exclusively with that former inmate who says he was attacked. He joins us live tonight with the exclusive interview. Connor?
It's important to note nobody's been charged in this case yet, but we first learned about the incident yesterday when the new Bonnery sheriff took to Facebook saying he looked into the 2-year-old incident, and what he found led him to recommend felony assault charges against the jail deputy. The story starts more than 2 years ago when court records show police arrested a Bonners Ferry man on an outstanding bench warrant for unfinished community service hours tied to a DUI charge in 2022. That man, who asked not to show his face for fear of retribution, says he turned himself into police.
And I saw that the best way to take care of that without getting any more charges was to turn myself into the police department. And in doing so, I was assaulted inside the jail.
Those allegations are laid out court records that show former Boundary County Sheriff's Office Detention Sergeant Brian Brown was one of the people in charge of moving him into a holding cell before later moving him to the Kootenai County Jail. Records detail the man and the deputy yelling at each other while he's being put in the cell. Once inside, documents reveal Deputy Brown slammed the inmate's head into the back of a glass window. Then, moments later, Deputy Brown allegedly slammed the man's head into a brick wall, picked up his limp body, and threw him to the other side of the cell.
I ended up losing consciousness, and I don't recall anything from the time when I called the police until the time that till the next morning when I was transported.
Now, more than 2 years later, the state of Idaho is intending to sue Deputy Bryan for those alleged actions, asking for felony assault charges. The former inmate says he's been contacted to testify on what happened, and investigators are reviewing security camera footage, documents, and statements from fellow law enforcement officials who allegedly saw what happened. He says he doesn't want any other inmates, former or current, to have experienced what he did.
I'm scared for other people that it might happen to. I'm scared that if it's not checked, if there's not a checks and balances put in place, that it can happen to more people. And if it can potentially lead to head trauma or even death if things continue that way.
In the meantime, Boundary County Sheriff Travis Stoley, who took office after the alleged incident, posted to Facebook in support of the state seeking charges. He adds, quote, "Although multiple deputies brought the concerns forward at the time, a formal criminal investigation or referral was not pursued then. By addressing this now, we're ensuring these matters receive the attention they deserve through a transparent process." In light of that response, the former inmate questions why it took this long to investigate what happened, but he hopes it leads to changes so other inmates don't go through what he did.
I know that dealing with people can be difficult, but sometimes you got to de-escalate a situation in order to come to a better resolution without using violence.
It turns out this may not be the only incident at the jail. In the sheriff's Facebook post, he also wrote, quote, "My office is also reviewing another similar case for possible prosecution involving a different former detention deputy and a different inmate," end quote. Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
All right, Connor, thank you very much. Also in North Idaho tonight, we are learning new details about the resignation of the Shoshone County Sheriff, Holly Lindsay. According to the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office, Lindsay was involved in a hit-and-run traffic incident while off-duty in Kootenai County yesterday. Deputies say she struck an object and then fled the scene. No one was hurt. Tonight, the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office is investigating. She resigned earlier today, and Shoshone County Under Sheriff Lance Studsky will now take over for Lindsay. A new sheriff will be appointed by the Board of County Commissioners. All right, let's talk weather on this Wednesday night with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legout. Jeremy, another beautiful fall day, and it sounds like our stretch of nice weather isn't over just quite yet.
Not quite yet. We do have a little more cloud cover in the coming days, but it's not over. We're talking some mild conditions. We're even staying pretty mild tonight thanks to a little bit of cloud cover moving its way through the region. But the big story here is what sits off the coast, this big push of moisture that takes over as we get closer to the weekend. Right now, couple of clouds. Those are going to do a number in keeping us a bit warmer tonight. And eventually they move out, and I think we wind up seeing a little bit of sun tomorrow afternoon. And then the clouds build back in. And then comes our next chance of rain. It looks like it arrives late Friday. So think Friday evening. If you have a Friday date night, maybe plan for a light shower at the end of it. Most of our rain does arrive overnight and I would say during Saturday. Saturday brings us a big push of moisture and then eventually more scattered showers throughout the weekend. So big changes in the works. Tomorrow, we're topping out in the mid 50s. So not quite as warm as today, but still pretty warm nonetheless. 61 on Friday ahead of that round of showers arriving after dark. Then Saturday comes with rain and more wind with a high in the low 50s. And then we just keep cooling heading into next week.
We'll check back in with you later in the show. And now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. The teenager accused of planning attacks on Coeur d'Alene churches last year has changed his plea to guilty. Federal authorities arrested Alexander Mercurio in April of 2024 for allegedly planning to start fires inside a local church. Messages uncovered by the FBI show Mercurio planned to use weapons, including firearms, knives, and a, quote, flame sword to kill as many people as possible. He is charged with trying to provide material support to a terrorist organization. Brian Koberger, the man serving 4 life sentences for killing 4 University of Idaho students, is pushing back against the state of Idaho's request for more restitution payments. As part of his plea agreement in July, Koberger agreed to cover funeral costs and reimburse the Crime Victim Compensation Fund. Those payments come to just under $29,000. Last month, the state filed a motion for additional restitution for things like travel and hotel expenses for 2 of the victims' families. That's more than $27,000 combined. But the defense says GoFundMe donations covered most of those expenses already. The defense also argues Koberger cannot afford more payments, and there is a hearing on this issue set for November 5th. Today, police say an Avista fleet vehicle hit a person on a Lime bicycle, pinning the man underneath the vehicle. That crash happened near East Indiana and North Columbus Street this morning. The Spokane Police Department sent out a statement about the crash, saying the man who was pinned under the truck was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. We reached out to Avista today about the crash. A spokesperson said in part, quote, "Our hearts go out to the person affected and their loved ones during this deeply concerning time. Safety and community well-being are central to Avista's values. We are taking this matter very seriously and are committed to supporting a thorough investigation." Washington Attorney General Nick Brown is joining 21 other states supporting Planned Parenthood in a lawsuit against the Trump administration's efforts to cut federal Medicaid funding. The defund provision would block funding for services like cancer screenings, birth control, and STI testing, targeting organizations that provide or support abortions. Brown says the move threatens care for more than 1 million people nationwide, including thousands of people here in Washington, where Planned Parenthood provides nearly 60% of reproductive health care for Medicaid patients. A federal court has temporarily blocked the policy, and the case is now headed to the Court of Appeals. And that'll do it for your Night Beat. For more information on any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. All right, don't go to bed just yet. Demand at food banks expected to surge if the government shutdown continues. Coming up, how local food banks are preparing for SNAP benefits to end. But first, the ongoing government shutdown is now in its 4th week, and small business owners are feeling its effects. The latest from Capitol Hill in just 90 seconds.